Have you ever felt completely drained, giving your time, energy, and heart to people who barely notice or care? You stay silent when you're hurt, overextend yourself, and constantly hope for appreciation that never comes. It's exhausting, and yet so many of us do it without realizing the toll it takes on our peace and happiness. Today, let's explore why you might be destroying yourself for others, and how turning to Allah can restore your strength, purpose, and inner calm. Constantly giving more than you receive drains your energy in ways you may not notice at first. You invest time, attention, and care, yet the response remains minimal or inconsistent. This imbalance slowly turns into emotional fatigue, leaving you feeling unappreciated and used. Instead of mutual support, the connection becomes dependent on your effort alone. Over time, this pattern weakens your sense of worth. You begin to measure your value by how much you can offer rather than who you are. True relationships, however, are built on fairness, where both sides contribute, respect boundaries, and uplift each other without one person carrying all the weight. Pushing your feelings aside to avoid conflict may seem like strength, but it quietly builds inner pressure. You pretend everything is fine, while your heart carries unresolved hurt, choosing comfort for others over honesty with yourself. Each time you silence your emotions, you teach yourself that your pain is less important. This habit creates a disconnect within you. You lose clarity about what truly affects you because you are always adjusting to others' expectations. Healthy relationships allow space for truth and vulnerability. Acknowledging your feelings does not make you difficult. It makes you real, and it protects your emotional well-being. At some point, clarity begins to replace confusion. You start noticing patterns instead of making excuses for them. The effort, the silence, the distance. It all forms a picture you can no longer ignore. What once felt like misunderstanding now reveals itself as a lack of genuine commitment. Accepting this truth is not easy. It challenges the hope you held onto and forces you to see things as they are, not as you wish them to be. But this awareness is powerful. It allows you to step out of denial and make decisions that protect your dignity, rather than staying stuck in illusions that only prolong your hurt. Genuine care is felt without constant reminders. When someone truly values you, their actions reflect consistency, attention, and respect without you having to ask repeatedly. You don't feel anxious waiting for a reply or questioning your place in their life. Their effort comes naturally, not as a response to pressure. When you find yourself asking for the bare minimum, it often means the connection lacks sincerity. Real appreciation is shown through presence and reliability, not empty words. Understanding this helps you raise your standards, so you no longer settle for less than what you deserve in any relationship. The teachings of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam guide us toward a balanced way of living, where kindness does not turn into self-neglect. He showed compassion, patience, and generosity, yet he never allowed injustice or harm to go unchecked. This balance teaches that caring for others should not come at the expense of your own well-being. By following this example, you learn to set healthy limits while still maintaining good character. It reminds you that your time, energy, and emotions are trusts that must be protected. True balance means giving with sincerity, but also knowing when to step back to preserve your peace. When you constantly try to please others, you begin to shape yourself around their expectations. Your choices, opinions, and even your personality start to shift just to gain approval. Gradually, you lose touch with what you truly want, because your focus remains on avoiding disappointment in others. This loss of identity creates inner confusion and dissatisfaction. You may appear agreeable on the outside, but inside you feel disconnected and unfulfilled. Over time, this pattern can make you forget your own values and boundaries. Preserving your individuality is essential because your worth is not defined by how well you fit into someone else's expectations. There comes a moment when you need to pause and question your own choices. Why are you tolerating behavior that disturbs your peace? Why are you holding on to people who bring more stress than comfort? These questions are not meant to blame you, but to awaken your awareness. When you reflect honestly, you begin to see how much of your energy is spent in the wrong places. This realization helps you redirect your focus toward what truly matters. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it is necessary. Choosing calm over chaos allows you to build a life that feels stable, respectful, and emotionally secure. When you shift your focus away from people and turn it toward Allah, your priorities begin to realign. Instead of seeking validation from temporary connections, you start building a connection that is constant and unshakable. Your actions become more sincere, guided by purpose rather than approval. This shift brings a sense of inner stability. You no longer feel controlled by how others treat you, because your worth is rooted in something higher. Trusting Allah allows you to release expectations from people and place your hopes where they will never be wasted, creating a deeper sense of peace within your heart. Recognizing that Allah is the one who never abandons you changes the way you view relationships and life itself. Human connections can be fragile and unpredictable, but Allah's presence is constant, complete, and unfailing. He knows your struggles, hears your prayers, and responds in ways that may not always be immediate, yet are always perfect. When you internalize this truth, dependency on others decreases. You begin to seek comfort in remembrance, guidance, and trust in Allah instead of clinging to people who may let you down. True security comes from knowing that no matter what happens, Allah's support is unwavering and eternal. Protecting your heart means setting boundaries that preserve your emotional and spiritual well-being. It requires courage to say no to situations, people, or demands that drain you, even if others expect compliance. Prioritizing yourself is not selfish. It is a way to honor the life and energy Allah has entrusted to you. When you choose yourself for the sake of Allah, every action becomes intentional. You give where it is meaningful and withdraw where it is harmful. This practice strengthens your faith, nurtures self-respect, and creates space for growth. By valuing yourself, you align your life with purpose, peace, and divine guidance. Always remember, your heart and peace are precious. Protect them, prioritize yourself for the sake of Allah, and let go of those who drain your soul. May Allah grant you strength, clarity, and endless blessings in every step of your life. If this message touched your heart, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Graceful Deen for more reminders. Comment below with Ya Allah, guide me and protect my heart as a prayer for yourself and others.